Good evening. I just look at you. I looked over at you. You're trying to get readjusted. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode number 17. Do have a little bit of feedback, by the way, Mark. We tested all this before we went live, of course, and it don't happen until we get here. Episode number 17, man. It's been a journey for sure. For sure. Mark, how you doing tonight, brother? Got in here a little late too. How you doing?
Yeah, can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So normally we fire back. We're normally mad at each other by the time we go live here, right? But he just popped in here. He's been working all day, so he ain't had a chance to piss me off yet. So we're going good right now. And of course we're joined by Mr. Stats Butcher Benjamin Taylor. How you doing tonight, brother?
Well,
Just a well.
got the Pocono race on in the background, so I'm kind of focusing on a few different things. But anyway, I think we got a good race for tonight in Gateway.
So let's discuss Gateway a little bit. And I'm going to jump down the list here. That's something that blew my mind. I was doing a little research from the last season's Gateway event. We had 16 cautions here last season. Do y'all remember that?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I do. I don't think we got all the laps in. I think the time ran out.
Was the Gateway that happened to?
I think we got all the laps, didn't we?
It was very close. All I know was just a caution fest.
See, I don't remember that, but so speaking from
one.
Yeah, Mark won. Go figure. He took on the win, but I did notice Ty Morosco led the second most laps with 42 laps led on the day. We had 23 different lead changes between 14 different drivers, so that's a pretty high number too. But that's 16 cautions seemed absurd to me.
Maybe we did run out of time. It's 218 laps. I think normally do 220.
Oh,
yep, I knew it was like right on the edge.
And 218 is a random number. I don't know if we would have stopped on 218. All right, while Mark's looking at that stats, let's jump right over to you. Gateway, what's your takes on the track? You fan, hate it, don't mind it? How you feel about Gateway?
I mean, I've had some pretty decent success in officials and leagues, but I mean, I like the track. I mean, it opens up a lot of strategy stuff. As far as this setup, though, I'll deem it as challenging.
So
put it that way.
You're the only one I think that's turned practice laps out of us three. What's it feel like?
Well, it's a pretty difficult to drive in a way.
Are we talking really tight, really loose? What are we talking here?
Kind of mixture of both.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the best to have is tight, loose. That's what's up.
And of course, this is a track where shifting is an option. And, well, based on the amount of fuel I was able to get, yeah, I know you're shaking your head. I mean, I was getting there that it's more than likely not going to be the way to go, although I won't be surprised if some people tried it. But based on the race distance and the amount of laps I get on fuel, it's very close as far as, I think, 6 pit stops, if I did the math right.
So you're looking at a double stint there, just based off the tires that we have.
I think on more than one occasion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we'll have four laying. If there's 6 pit stops, yeah, you're looking at double stint maybe twice.
And well, of course, that is if we go green all the way, which it's
that's another head shake.
Yeah, I know it's not. But, well, I mean, kind of pull a double-edged sword, though. I mean, a lot of times when the setup is really difficult, that's when we put on our best races. But I mean, it's just hard to tell.
When we are uncomfortable as drivers, that's when we're normally on our best behavior, right? We're not going to drive it in, but Gateway's a track. I hate shifting at ovals. That's going to be a theme all season long. Any track we go to, we're going to be shifting. I hate it. I think it's stupid, but Gateway as a track, it's so unique because both sides of the track is completely different from each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it races like a short track, even though it's, what is it in length? Like a mile and
is it a mile?
A quarter?
Something like that.
I think it's
something.
Yeah, I think it's like a mile and a quarter. So, but I mean, I think Milwaukee is a good way to compare it to, because
I compare 3 and 4 to a Milwaukee, and 1 and 2 to almost like a Phoenix.
Yeah, it's got like real like drag strip straightaways, but the corners, based on how tight it is around there, I mean, it kind of acts like a short track in a couple of ways.
Right. So 16 cautions though. I'm gonna go on a limb and say we beat that mark tonight. We're not gonna have 16 cautions. That's absurd for a BPL race. Let's get into a brand new segment. It's called 50-50. Basically, what it is, I'm gonna ask each of these guys a question regarding this season currently of BPL, and they got 50-50 chance of getting it right. It's gonna be two different drivers. They're gonna list who they think is right and who's wrong. So we'll go to you first, Taylor. Which driver, since you are Mr. Stats, which driver has the better average finish in BPL this season? Chris Carroll, Dalton Kilrow.
1 and 2 in the points. Actually, no, they're not because of last week. They're 1 and 3 in the point standings. I believe I'm second now. But anyway, I'm gonna I'm gonna guess Dalton.
I would say Dalton too, because Chris is like 11 something.
So Dalton is the correct answer with an average placement of 9.56. I went to the decimal point with all these just so we know it's completely 100% accurate. And Chris Carroll was 10.83. So rounded up, Carroll will be 11 and Dalton will be a 10. So
of course, the big difference there is Chris has, I think, 5 wins and Dalton has 1.
That's where the points alley kind of gets skewed a little bit. All right, question number 2, Mark. You can lead us off, and we'll throw it over to Butcher. Which driver has completed more laps this season, Mark Arthur or Corey Rutherford? Completed more laps.
Well, I know I've missed a few races, but
I tried to make these tricky. I tried to make you really think about these.
I would say.
I'd say Corey.
I would say me. I'm thinking he's been in more accidents.
I'm trying to think. Well, we'll go 50-50 there.
So Taylor's going with Corey. You're going with yourself.
Yeah.
Mark, you have done the most laps with 2,537. Okay. Corey has done 2,498. Y'all are right there with each other on the board. All right. Stats, you can kick us off on this one. Who has the most incident points currently on the season?
Oh, hell, that's an easy.
Derek Paulson, Kyle Wellman. Who has the most incident points?
Oh, jeez. Well,
wait, time out. Don't answer yet. Caveat to this is Wellman has started 12 races. Derek has started 16 races. Who has more incident points?
I think I'm still going to go with Kyle.
That's who I would have went with. That's who I thought as soon as you said it.
So y'all are actually both wrong. So Derek has 16 starts, 83 incident points. Wellman has 12 starts, 82 incident points.
Oh, for God's sake.
So I'm telling you, I worked on these, brother. I really did. I tried to find the closest margins I could on some of them.
Oh, that's about as close as you can get. So,
which driver, Mark, going to you first? Which driver has more pole awards this season currently? Cody Gibson or Brian Dees? More pole awards. Don't be looking, cheating.
I'm not looking. I'm looking down.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm trying to think if Cody. I don't remember Cody having a pole. He may have only had one.
I believe he has a couple.
I knew this one when I came up with it. I was surprised.
Dees was Atlanta. I think Cody.
I think Cody had one at Bristol, right?
For sure started on the pole at Bristol. That's one I remembered.
I know he won the race at Bristol. I don't remember if it was on the pole, but
I'll go with Cody because I only remember Dees getting one.
I mean,
he got it at Atlanta. I remember that one because I started third right behind him. So
Cody Gibson has 2. Brian Dees has 1. Next week I'll put the tracks on there for questions like that. That way we can go back and know. All right, Butcher. Which driver has earned more bonus points this season? Tom Morosco or Mike Hamlin?
I'm going to go with... I know Mike has a few less starts because he came in
He does.
late. I'm going to go with Mike.
Mike Hamlin?
That's who I'd have went.
Tom Morosco has 75. Mike Hamlin has 50. So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
you still suck.
Wow. All right, number 6. This one is a tough one. This is a trick one. Which driver has led more laps this season? Kobe Sutphin or Brian Zimmerman?
Gosh. I know Kobe led a lot. I think he led the most last week at Chicago. I know Zimmy won the pole at Milwaukee and led for a while.
He also led a bunch at Daytona, didn't he?
When I was going through the list, I seen they both have one race.
I'm going with Kobe.
They both had one race where they led a majority of their laps.
I think I'm gonna go with Zimmy because I think he's usually up there where he at least gets them when people pit.
Right. So Mr. Zimmy has a total of 25 laps led. Kobe Sutphin has 41 laps led.
Oh.
All right.
How many does Zimmy have?
25 even. Number 7. Which driver has the better average starting position?
Average start. Okay.
Jamie Walker, Mark Arthur. I don't know how I put you in here twice.
Wait, what?
Jamie Walker, Mark Arthur.
What's the question?
Average start.
Better average start.
I'm going with Mark.
I was shocked at this one, by the way, when I looked these stats up. By the way,
I get a lot of.
Mark's usually on the pole or the outside pole.
Yeah, I'd probably go with myself.
You're right. I quit looking, but halfway through, I didn't see one race you start outside the top 7, Mark, by the way. So your average start was 5.41 to Jamie Walker's 8.93. As far as people actually showing up, making a majority of the races, you have the best average starting position out of, I can't remember what the number was.
Get the better finishing position, then I'll be doing good.
Right. All right. Which driver has more top 5 finishes this season, John Perkins or Rick Thompson?
Who's this to? Taylor?
You first. Tee it off to you first.
I know Rick's missed a bunch of races, so I'm gonna probably go with John.
All right. You got a number?
I think when Rick is actually raced, I think he's actually. I'm gonna go with Rick on this one.
You got any y'all got a number? Y'all want to place a number on top 5s?
Yeah, 33.
All right, so Rick has 2 top 5s, and Perkins has 1 top 5.
Oh man!
All right, 2 more left.
Yeah, John finished 4th at Michigan behind me, so
2
that
more.
one I remember.
Which driver has a better average finishing position? Cody Gibson or Taylor the Butcher Benjamin? Taylor.
You know, I don't have yourself in any of these questions.
I'm gonna go with myself, actually.
I don't know how I ended up with you being in them twice. I put these together throughout the week, by the way. This one, I didn't just sit here today and come up with them. What'd you say, Taylor?
I'm gonna go with myself.
I don't know where Taylor normally finishes, but I know Cody's finished decently a lot, so I'd probably. And I know he had a win, at least one.
He's got 2 wins. He won at Homestead and Bristol.
So you going Cody or Butcher? 50-50, Mark.
Yeah, I'm going with Cody.
Going Cody? All right, Cody.
I'm not sure where Butcher finished.
It seems like Cody, when he runs great, he has great finishes. But if he gets involved in a wreck, he's way on down the list, and that really hurts his average. Whereas the Butcher, I've watched him take 40 minutes of damage, get it fixed, and still race. Butcher has an average finish of 10.12. And Cody Gibson's is 11.94. So
close.
Yeah, very close.
By the way, that's one of the reasons why I won the bracket was Bristol sticking around for however long that was.
Right.
In the pits and getting back out there.
All right, number 10, final one. Which driver has more?
We're gonna get Tanner to do that. We're gonna get Tanner doing that.
I did it last week.
Yes.
I got a penalty and stuck around.
Continue to do that.
We're gonna get you to get 40 minutes of damage and stick around.
Oh man, we're you know me, bro. We're pushing it now.
Anyway, what's the last question?
Which driver has more top 10 finishes? Finishers off, Butcher. More top 10 finishes between Paul Ellison or Mike Hamlin?
I'm gonna go with Paul.
Mark?
Again, not really sure where Paul finishes. I do see him up there some, but I see Mike up there a lot. I don't know, Mike's.
Both of them had fantastic seasons, by the way. You look at the points.
Mike, like like you said, is fewer. I'm gonna go with Mike just to be different.
Paul's had a rough stretch though of the last month or so.
Well, y'all both were right. They both have 8. Sorry, I had to throw in a curveball. Both of them have 8. So that's 50-50 come and gone for today. Just something to kind of get the BPO drivers involved with some of the stats. We'll try to come up with some more clever stats as we go. It took a lot more time than I thought to. We may have to limit that to only 5. We'll see. All right, now it's time for. I've heard it's the best segment we got. I know Butcher likes it because he likes to show off. We'll call him. So Stump the Butcher time.
Say that a little bit.
Stump the Butcher. These are just 5 questions. We're gonna rapid fire them too, Butcher. What drivers finished in the top 5 in the 1992 NASCAR Cup Series points standings? Bonus points if you get it in order.
I feel like we've been through this one before, but
I went back and
Alan Kulwicki won the championship.
1.
Bill Elliott finished second to him by only a couple of points, like
2.
10 points. Davey Allison third, even though he led the points going into that race and then got taken out.
3.
Let's see. I know the other 3 that had a mathematical chance going into the race was Harry Gant, Mark Martin, and Kyle Petty.
Put them in order for me. You got 3 of them. You got your first 3 right now.
Let's see. I want to say Mark Martin 4th.
Nope. You give up?
Kyle Petty 4th.
Nope. Kyle Petty 5th.
Really?
You're missing 4th place.
Well, that would be Harry Gant.
Exactly, Harry Gant. So we kind of stumped him there. I'm going to take that point right there. You ain't taking that one away from me.
Yeah, moral victories.
Right, exactly. Morgan Shepherd is known as a journeyman in NASCAR, having a career that totaled over 32 years with 517 races started in his career. How many Cup Series wins did Morgan Shepherd finish his career with?
Well, yeah, I think he had 4.
Wait,
3 of them were
3 of them were where?
At Atlanta.
He won 86, 90, 93 at Atlanta, and he won 1981 Martinsville for a total of 4.
Yep.
All right, which 4 drivers made the championship round of 4 in 2016? Bonus points for the correct order of how they finished.
Oh, this is it's a heartbreaker one to talk about. Well, Hunter Johnson won the championship, his 7th. Joey Logano was 2nd. Kyle Busch,
I know he's a
3rd.
heartbreaker now. I remember what you're talking about.
And then Carl Edwards.
That's the one where Carl and Joey. Did Carl try to block, or was it Joey blocking? I can't remember.
No, Carl was blocking Joey.
Right.
But that still should have never happened because the caution before that was a load of bull.
There's rumors of why. That's like one reason why Carl quit. By the way, like he was very heartbroken about that.
You know something? I remember when I heard this live. I know this was like 6-7 years ago, and watching it back on YouTube. Rick Allen said something about like while they're under the red flag after they wrecked, he said like this may be Carl Edwards' last chance to win a championship. I'm like, what on earth is he talking about? He's probably going to come back and win it next year, and then he retired. So I feel like
say that he knew something.
To me, that's what I'm saying. To me, like he might have. Carl might have like leaked a little bit to some people.
Right. All right, number 4. How many NASCAR Cup Series championships did Cale Yarborough finish his career with?
3, and they were all in a row. The first guy to do that. 76, 77, 78.
You're right. All right, and then Paul Menard. He's hard. Mark, did you know that one?
Hell no. I don't even know what you're talking about. I ain't been listening for the last 10 minutes.
Paul Menard picked up 1 NASCAR Cup Series race win at which track and what year? Paul Menard.
Brickyard 400, 2011.
There we go. So we only got the Butcher on kind of one iffy. Good job, Taylor. I'm going to eventually get you, man. I'm going to keep on going back into the weeds. I may bring Sam on here one week and just start quizzing you for World of Outlaws stuff, junk.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Let's pull up the points really quick, and I want to shout out some of the drivers here. Let's pull up our BPL points and halfway thoughts of the season. Mark, we're going to go to you first because, scratch that. We're going to go to you first, Taylor, because you're currently 2nd in the points. Talk to us about your season so far, and then I'm going to throw it over to Mark.
Well, I mean, early on there was a lot of, and well, actually, this whole season really, I feel like there's been a few times where I've had a chance to actually go up there and win, especially the plate races, Atlanta, which I got second, and then Daytona early on to start the season, kind of a silly crash that relegated me to like 30th or something. But I mean, I just feel like I've been kind of slowly chipping away, and I think I have like 12 top 10s or something like that.
Very, very, very consistent season when I was putting the list together.
And I kind of talked about this in my post-race interview last week in Chicago. I just got to get better at qualifying because I've been starting, towards the back half of I'm gonna start like between like 10th and 15th or 16th each week, and
it puts you behind the 8 ball. It's tough,
especially when last week we go caution free, which I don't think that'll happen tonight. But I mean, it just puts you in a position where you got to fight through all the traffic, and you got to, run your equipment harder than you probably want to, and obviously the chance of getting taken out and something silly. So, I mean, of course, that could happen at the front as well. But I think if I could just,
I've said for this year, I've heard this statement before, but I truly believe it this year. Let me get rid of the standing so y'all can see us again. I truly feel like from about 8th to about 15th, we're racing for the Daytona 500 every week, baby, back there. You get up in the top 7, y'all are a lot more cordial up there. Y'all give a lot more room, a lot more space. You get that 8th place guy, it's Daytona 500. Go big or bust. Checkers or wreckers, I feel like. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's the Xfinity car why I feel that way or what. But, all right, Mark, you come into tonight. I'm going to say it. You've had a quiet but good season. You're sitting 6th in the points. How would you account for your season so far?
Typical. That's the way I typically run.
Quiet, but it's been quiet though. You've been quietly picking off good finishes and a win here.
Yeah. Quietly going to the moon once, and
that was impressive, dude. I was a dead man walking until you shot up. Dead man walking. That was awesome.
Quietly blew my engine at Michigan.
That's right.
I've had quietly a lot of crap this season too, so I'm surprised that I'm up as high as I am still. I guess it's the point system where when you do finish well, you get rewarded for it well. But I mean, it's been a lot of jostling. I remember, what was it, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was like 9th. So and then I jumped up to like 5th, and dropped down one last week.
Between 8th to 4th, it says 142, about 160 points splitting y'all. That sounds like a lot whenever you think about it, but it's not actually, because we are offering
one race.
Yeah. Less than one race, and then I'm 20th in the season. Don't want to talk about it. Want to move on. All right, let's go on to the pick'em of the week. And boys, I don't want to say anything. Don't want to jinx it, but your boys kind of on fire here lately. We've gotten the last 2 right. As you see right there, Tanner won for the 2nd week in a row. This time with pick John Perkins, who finished P9th at Chicagoland. Taylor's pick was Andy Palicki. He finished 14th. Mark, you picked Corey Sherman. He brought home 36. Kyle Wellman's pick was Dustin Pink. He finished 26. So that brings the current standings.
Corey didn't have any loyalty.
That brings the.
We did have a blue screen. I did go back and watch his stream on YouTube.
Didn't even come back.
I know we didn't, but.
All right, so the standings are 8, Mark, 5 for me, 1 for Butcher because he came in late, and 2 for the guest that I don't even count anymore.
Get back on I need to get going because
you're running out of time, Butcher. We're over the halfway point, brother. You're running out of time. You came in late, but you are running out of time. Taylor, do you know the list of drivers you can't pick? You ain't gonna make me name them all, are you?
Oh, I gotta pull it up in the Discord, but
so somebody does read the script. I type out. Thank you, Butcher. I appreciate that. You're a good man.
Well, I mean,
exactly. You're a good man, Butcher.
Oh my God. You make a script?
Screw you, Mark. Who you got,
anyway,
Butcher? Who's your pick?
I'm watching it live, son.
I should have picked him last week, and you got him right last week. I'm gonna go with John Perkins this week.
Oh, you're going Perkins, number 33. I like it. He did me very, very, very good last week.
I know your heart was kind of pounding when I started to say 30, and then I picked Andy instead.
Yep, it was because Mark knew my pick last week because I seen that he couldn't pick it. All right, I'll be totally honest here. I need to pull up the standings because I don't have a pick. Mark, do you have a pick yet?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Well, I just told you I don't have a pick. So
bring that back up.
You gotta pick somebody.
All right, let me see. I'm going to go.
The Jeopardy music.
I wanted to save him, bro, for a little bit later in the season at a plate track. But I'm going to pull him out here. I'm going to go with the number 28 of Brian Zimmerman. I wanted to save him for Dega.
21, yeah.
Or 21, yeah. I forgot he's 21 in here.
I just had a feeling when you said, like, after a plate track, that's who we're going to go with.
I'll be honest, it's so hard when you see this list that you can pick from. Do you see this list you can't pick from? It's hard to pick somebody out, but...
Well, to be fair, this is the Milwaukee setup, and he won the pole in Milwaukee and led for a while until I think he ended up in the wall.
I wish I big-brained it that much, but I did not. All right, Mark, who's your pick? So...
I'm going to go with the guy that seems to be running up front a lot, and I think he's pretty good at short tracks from what I can remember. Chris Berg. Going with the Iceberg.
The Iceberg.
I thought one of you had picked him before, and I don't see it on the list there. I know somebody had picked it. Tanner Slacken.
Maybe.
I wonder if I might have. I'm not sure.
I feel like Chris Berg has been picked before, so I'll double check through the. I got all the sheets and I'll type it in, so I'll double check it. But I remember Chris Berg getting picked. I thought it was for a road course actually. Does that sound familiar? No, as you're not paying attention.
Last road course was, what was that? Daytona Road?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember. I thought somebody had picked him though.
All right, folks. So I just clicked on the wrong thing. We are going to close up shop. It's been 17 weeks here that we've done this week in and week out. It's getting no easier, but getting no harder. It's getting better. I feel like we're getting better each and every week. Right? Episode 1, it's never going to be that bad ever again, and hopefully it won't never be as bad as today because we're just going to continue getting better. Want to send a huge shout out to Southern Shores for coming on board, sponsoring this show. Check out True Sim Productions over on YouTube on the road to 500 subscribers. Sam and Terry will be live in the booth in about 40 minutes, something like that, give or take. So check us out. Mark, I want to thank you for coming on today. Taylor Butcher Benjamin, thank you as well. Any final thoughts before we close them up?
Well, I hope Gateway, we don't have as many cautions as we did last year, but it's a tough track, tough setup, and we'll just see how it goes.
16 cautions. Over or under, Mark? It better be under.
It better be under. I was just getting ready to say that's my final thing. Guys, don't be a bunch of nutsacks and
take care
let's
of
not
each
have
other.
a bunch of driving into people's left rears and throwing it into the corner thinking you're going to get a spot.
Let's talk that for a second. Is that due to shifting? Do you think that they kind of drive off in there a little deep and then they slide up into them? Is that a product of that?
Well, I think that's my opinion, right? I don't know of this for a fact, but I think a lot of people, including yourself, right? They think, I mean, I've talked to you about it many times, right? A lot of people that race short tracks, they think that's how you pass. They think you just drive it down in there and outbrake a guy and just, and that's where you make your move, when that's actually the last place you should be making the move is right. Because you get in there hard, he gets in there harder. Both just keep going in harder and harder and harder until somebody slides up into somebody else. And it's like one of the worst ways to pass, right? You want to get them through the middle and off, get up underneath them on a straightaway. Then you can drive in there and they got the worst line and then you can drive out around them. And it might take you 3 laps, but a lot of people don't want to do that. And they get impatient and they just see a hole and they go, I can get under them, throw it down in there. And they go in too hard and slide the brakes and slide up into somebody or, just outdrove themselves and can't get the car to slow down and push up the track, oh, sorry, I pushed, so because nobody wants to get on the binder. and slow the car back down.
I seem to remember wrecking you at Gateway last season, but I couldn't have because you won it, right? But that's something else I have to go back and look. Well, folks, I want to thank y'all for tuning in as always, and shout out to Savage Edge. I actually got this last week, but I wanted to wash it and everything before I put it on. Nothing against them, but I just do that with new shirts. I don't know why. So shout out to Savage Edge Apparel for hooking us up with a TSP shirt, and shout out to Corey Sherman, the governor, Serby, everybody in the chat sitting there hanging out with us each and every week. Lori and Connie, I know you're out there too. We'll try to give them hell tonight, boys. Good luck to my competitors, Mark and Taylor. Thank y'all for coming on. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.
I mocked you that time. I got it.
Huh?